So, did you hear? Steve got a new toy to make sure that we don't eat in his office.
You know, I don't really see what the big kerfuffle is about this. Just because somebody got a little bit of potato chips in the futon doesn't mean that we have to go crazy about this food ban.
Well, maybe if a certain burnt kaiju that I know wouldn't just chew on chips for the sake of chewing, you can't even digest the food.
Hey man, I just like to chew on stuff. Helps to calm the nerves.
Anyways, we should probably go warn the other toys about this.
Well, to be fair, I don't really know the other toys that try to eat food, except for the ones with holes in their mouths. Like this certain annoying kaiju I know.
What? Alright, for serious, man, you know that you wouldn't pass up on the pizza, too.
Zilla, I wouldn't eat that if I were you.
But this pizza's so good. I just can't stop myself.
Well, I did try
Sometimes
one.
you just gotta do what you... Oh, I dropped it. Hi. Has anyone told you that your skin complexion is worse than Steve? And he doesn't even leave the basement. Look, for serious, man, like... He needs to get some sun and no.
Hey, think we'll ever see Zilla again?
Give it about a week.
You know, this is cruel and unusual punishment.
I think that's how long the punishment was for.
Hey, I think I found a piece of candy down here.
But one could hope for longer.
Hey Rangers, looking super report reviews. My name's Steve.
My name's Ernest.
And today we're going over the NECA Pan's Labyrinth Pale Man. From the Del Toro Signature Series collection. Yeah, number 2. I'm not buying number 1. I have no interest in that dude at all.
Who is that dude?
Santi? Oh god, I can't even remember the movie. It's the devil something.
Yeah, I have no idea, honestly.
Like the devil's rejects, the devil advocates. What could it be? I know it's not one of those
I know
two.
number 2, number 3, and number 4. I don't know number 1.
Yeah, I have those ones on pre-order, so we'll get them eventually. Because actually, Pan's Labyrinth is easily one of my favorite movies. So,
Except that guy. He looks...
he's cool. He's terrifying. He did his job, right? It's just a saggy old man. You just gotta live with it.
I feel like he's a Kevin, you know?
Kinda. Well, if you ate Kevin's food, yeah, he'd come after you. Especially if you're under the age of 10. Anyways. Well, 14, I don't even know. But anyways, but yeah, I love the film. It's great. I don't know, it's definitely in the top 10. Like, I still put Pacific Rim higher than it for me. Do I put Hellboy 2? I feel like I put Hellboy 2. It's close. Because to be fair, like, in my top 10, like, 3 of them are easily Del Toro films. It's just, like, what order.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, because to be fair, like, I almost like Hellboy 2 more than Pacific Rim. So, yeah, it'd definitely be higher. Now that I think about it. So, this would be, like, 3rd favorite. But still great. So, I decided to pick this guy up. I wasn't certain that I really wanted this guy until I found out he came with this chair. His, like, chair, his throne, whatever you want to call it.
I think it's more of a throne, isn't it?
Kinda. Like, he had it at, like, a dinner table, so it's kind of...
Does it come with the food on the table? I mean, the chair?
I wish it came with, like, the table of food. This is one of those, like, if you could, like, for diorama purposes, he'd be awesome. Like, he already comes with the chair. You just gotta get the table, you gotta get the food spread. Be good to go. He needed a fairy to eat.
Yeah.
That's what he needed. But anyways, we're kind of rambling. So without further ado, further packaging looks awesome on the front. Get a nice image of the Pale Man. Mine's got a little bit of scuffing going on, but can't really do much about that. We got the Pan's Labyrinth on the side, tells you who it is. Top of the package, more of the same. Side of the package, more of the same. Back of the package, just shows you him sitting in his chair. Tells you a little bit about it on the bottom. Some of the other guys in the line. And some legal mumbo jumbo on the bottom.
Look at that saggy skin down there by his balls. Like, look at that.
Oh, yeah, no, that is 100% a part of this guy. And then if you open it up too, it gives you a nice little display option for him as well. Oops, back to camera. I don't quite get the, okay, I guess that's a fireplace.
Yeah, it's front of the chair.
Or behind the chair?
Well, like, he's supposed to be, like, facing it or facing away from it.
Yeah, like, to me, initially when I saw it, I thought it was, like, gates and, like, a blazing inferno behind the gates. Like, almost Resident Evil. But, okay, I guess that's what's going on. But he's not currently in his prison, so let's go get into him. Alright, so now we got the Pale Man open up out of his... Well, he was already open. Anyways, first we're going to start with his accessories. Which, what we have...
Oh, God, no, don't show me the bottom of that thing.
It's got all the details, man.
All of them. Let me see him. Ugh.
Be careful. I'll say that right now. All right, so first we're going to start with the plate of eyeballs, which I kind of wish that they had pupils.
They don't?
No, like they have like the red around it for like the iris or whatever, but there isn't like the little black dot in the center to really like convey that these are eyes. But they're nice. They're bloody. You can see on the back here as well. The plate looks pretty cool. It's just an old-fashioned looking plate. A little bit of detailing on the bottom. Nothing too bad. Sadly, there's not like a place for it to really sit outside of just leaving it on the chair, because it's not like he can really hold on to it either. So it's a neat little accessory. I kind of wish there was maybe something like an extra little table to sit on or something.
Steve, what the heck, man? Why can't I straighten this leg out?
Don't worry about it.
I want him to stand.
Don't worry about it. Also, you get his chair, throne thing.
Oh, I see why you can't.
Looks cool. Actually, this is probably the big reason I bought it, because initially when I was like, I don't know if I really want the Pale Man, like, is it really worth it? I'm like, oh crap, he comes with a chair. Chair's sweet. I can have him sitting. I don't have that many figures in my collection sitting, outside of Del Toro, so they look cool next to each other. But for the chair, as you can see, you get a little bit of leather detail on the back there for the seat.
Is that actual leather, though? Or?
No, it's plastic.
Oh.
It's just, it's convincing, right?
Yeah.
The way the paint job is and everything looks great. Also, you get your Pale Man has to be comfy. Gotta sit in style. Fake wood style. But you get some detailing carved into it on the side as well, which also, like, this looks like wood. Like, no matter what we end up saying about the figure, because we haven't get there yet, and I haven't really played around with him too much outside of the review, but this thing's, like, pretty damn awesome.
It's one of those where you buy the figure for the accessory.
Almost. Like, the figure's cool, but, like, this
Right
thing,
now, Steve, I'm
this thing's
not
pretty
impressed by him.
fantastic. We'll get there. But for the back, too, you get more of the detailing.
I just noticed his nipples.
Again, we'll get to it. I kind of wish that was maybe a little bit cleaner. In the connecting part on the side there. You don't really notice it from the front, though, so I guess I'm not going to really be having it like, here we go, here it is on my display shelf. So, it's not a big deal, but it is something to point out. But the rest of this is like detailed fantastically. Like, it looks like wood, looks like leather. Can't complain. And then for the Pale Man, we'll start with his head, which I have his hands up because it's kind of a part of his head. Because this is how he sees. Which you can see, like, looking at it, like, they have pupils.
Can you imagine him on his happy hour time, Steve? Those eyes have seen.
Well, your eyes would have to be closed the entire time, right? He uses his imagination.
So wrong.
But but the undersection of the hands look cool where you have his eyes. He can actually get his arms up to his head, which is something great to see because he does have the double joints in his elbows. Moving the hands down, head sculpt looks pretty awesome as well. You got a bunch of sagging skin.
No, the head sculpt was pretty good itself.
Yeah, you got his little nostrils on the front. You got his teeth. I kind of wish he maybe had like an open mouth he came with. Like one extra head would have been cool. Should have came with a head eating a fairy. And then maybe like a hand to grab a hold of it. But outside of that, for the rest of his body, it's pretty much saggy old man. You get some nipples. Now,
nip action.
funny thing, I had a couple of options when I was going to buy this guy because we were at a Second and Charles, and they had a few of them. So I was like, hey, I'll pick one I like. And on the other ones, his nipples were like bright red. And I'm not talking like, how like this is like subtly red, like almost pink.
Yeah.
I mean like bright, bloody red.
Oh.
Like he looked like he had an infection.
He really put in some effort in his nip action, huh?
Yeah, well, the other thing too is like it also was like more red in certain areas. So I went with him because everything was a little bit more subtle. Because I really don't want him like standing on the shelf, and out of all the cool details that this figure has going on, I didn't want to have to focus on his nipples. So yeah. Claws look nice, painted black though. Look pretty terrifying if I do say so myself. Arms, got a little bit of sagging skin action on the back as well. And like to me, it almost looks like at certain angles it's like blades. Right? Or like, how like there's like those like armor plating on monsters with like the extra parts.
Gosh, didn't I just watch an anime where a chick had blades like that on her arms she used?
Yeah, it's just like, it looks like extra like armor plating, but no, it's just skin. Just skin all the time. Got his like sagging stomach on the front section here. Same with on the back. Doesn't have a butt anymore. I feel so bad for him. You get his spine on the back though, which I have a hard time trying to line up.
Yeah, I was trying to move him around and he did not feel right.
All right, we got it. I haven't messed around with him enough, I guess, but I'm a little terrified. Like, he's a little bit on the stiff side. I really don't want to, like, wrench a joint off. Because it's the same, we'll get to his legs, but as you can see, his pretty thin legs. Like, it almost looks like it's just skin and bones. Coming down to the top. Like, he needs some nourishment. Some Tauros meat, perhaps?
Can't keep feeding me puffins, man. You can, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I kind of, like, granted, I'm not going to really be having him, like, running around, like, chasing people, to be fair. He's going to sit in the chair, right? So it's kind of irrelevant. It would be nice to have, like, the option, though. And, like, moving it around, you can get it to where he can stand. Like, you guys will see at the photo gallery, like, it's a thing, but it's a lot of adjusting. And to be fair, I'm kind of terrified adjusting.
No, he looks very fragile.
To say the least. And, well, actually, we'll just get into the articulation for his head. Because, like, that's
a lot of movement.
Yeah, it's about that far up. Decent down, though. Go side to side, pretty much all the way around. Got a little play at the bottom of the neck there as well. Shoulders up about that far, down about that far, all the way around. Not really like an extra rotation. It's just on a hinge there. Got double jointed elbows. Also rotation at the elbow. Hands can rotate all the way around on a hinge so they can go forward and back. For each of these sections on his chest and his stomach, you can rotate these side to side. Go forward about yay far.
He has a lot more movement than you think he does.
Backwards about that far. Decent side to side. Weird thing. Legs are on a hinge, so they can go forward, backwards. His butt gets in the way, though. So that is a thing.
In the front is like soft plastic, though. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's nice that it's flexible. To say the least.
Stop playing with flaps, Steve.
But you do get a decent amount of motion there. Same with the feet. Single joint at the legs. So a little bit of rotation forward and back. Same with the feet. Rotate side to side. Not too much forward and back play. A little bit of a wiggle to him as well. Just be careful though, because this is pretty thin. So when articulating, especially down here, make sure the grab towards the base of the knee if you want to rotate it or bend it forward and back, because you don't want to apply a lot of pressure onto this leg here. The same with the hinge. I recommend just grabbing where you're going to articulate to move it. But other than that, pretty impressive in terms of at least the articulation.
And for some quick comparisons, here we have the NECA Pale Man compared next to the recently released Target exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon 2-pack versions. And that's still the San Diego Comic-Con ones of the regular Turtles of Leo, Donnie, Mikey, and Raph. And here it is next to their counterparts with Shredder, Crane, and the Foot Soldiers. And here is next to some NECA Pacific Rim figures with Hong Kong Brawl Gypsy Danger and Ultimate Striker Eureka. And here is next to some NECA Terminator figures, well, the Kenner Tribute ones with the Future Wars Endoskeleton and the Power Terminator still in the package currently. Might do an abridged review. Not sure yet. And here he is next to some other Del Toro stuff. Well, specifically Guillermo Del Toro himself, the NECA cloth figure, and the Mezco Hellboy 2. And got him to stand for, well, tried to get him to stand for the final comparison. But here he is next to the NECA Mad Predator from the Alien vs. Predator arcade game, and the Grid Alien from Alien vs. Predator. So overall for the NECA Pan's Labyrinth Pale Man, I think this guy's pretty cool. He goes for like $35. Around there, which I think is pretty fair for what he comes with the plate of eyes, his giant chair, and then the figure itself. And I'm not going to say he's the coolest NECA figure I've ever owned, because it's just kind of like, I don't know. Some of the Alien Predators, like Pacific Rim stuff, is just a little bit more impressive. But he's still like one of the coolest figures. It definitely helps to convey the creep factor that you got from seeing the guy from the movie for the first time.
Yeah. Well, like, him, I'm not a fan of him, but his chair is freaking amazing. Like, that is what sold him.
Yeah, but are you not a fan of just the character?
No, I'm not.
Or the figure?
The mold, the figure. Like what they did to the figure. Like he has a hard time standing, not a lot of articulation. Like he has a lot more than I thought he did, but there's not much movement to him, and it's just not being able to stand part. Like just.
Well, he can stand, but it's just like.
Plus, he looks ugly as
You're
shit.
specific. Yeah. Like you got to be particular about the poses. You can't really go crazy with them. Like say you can with a lot of the other like alien figures and stuff like that. So you pretty much essentially got to be a pretty big fan of Pan's Labyrinth in order to pick this guy up. But I feel like if you really like the movie, you're probably going to buy all 3 of them anyways. I think he'd be a cool figure to have with Ophelia. Like I almost would rather have him than the Pan. To be fair, like the Pan's cool, but like the scene of him like putting the eyes in his hand was like super memorable for me from that movie. Like that, and they need to make the frog.
Yeah.
The frog in the tree. That'd be cool. What do you guys think? If you guys picked up this figure, what'd you think of Pan's Labyrinth? Or is Hellboy just more to think? Please let us know in the comments. Look closer pictures of this guy on our Facebook, and I'll click the link description below. We also have our Patreon account if you guys like help support the channel, and also a t-shirt shop as well, down in the description. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.